breaking news in the Mueller probe, a new filing regarding Roger Stone. I'm joined by former federal prosecutor John Flannery. What did Mueller file late today, and what will it do in your view?
Well, he filed a notice about the government's side of the question whether or not Mr. Roger Stone had violated the court's gag order not to say anything about the prosecutor or the prosecution in any media at all, including Instagram. And it turns out that even as he was standing before the judge, he had written a book with a new introduction, and the introduction talked about how crooked Mueller was put him on his hit list, among other things. And
so when Mueller tells the judge Stone's talking about the case, do you think that makes it more likely this judge will jail Stone?
Oh, yes. In fact, the judge said at the last hearing, when the judge wasn't happy about having a target next to her picture in an Instagram publication by Mr. Stone, she said, "This is the last time." So if she stands by what she said in the last hearing, I hope he brought his toothbrush when he goes to, I hope he brings his toothbrush when he goes to court, because I think he's going to the slammer this time.
And the filing doesn't have Mueller saying, send him to jail. It just says, hey, look at what he said. Do you view that, though, as comparably similar?
I think it's a haiku. I think every good advocate knows his or her or its judge. And in this case, the judge couldn't have made it more clear that this kind of conduct was not good. So what they did was they said, here's the ammunition, Your Honor. Take a look at these two excerpts on Google Books and on Amazon. And here's a picture that he put on Instagram 2 days after you asked for this hearing.
Right, and as you
not
know,
good stuff.
And anyone following it knows, this was, as you say, the judge who told Stone to knock it off, no more shots. We're going to keep an eye on it. Quite a development. John Flannery, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.